So, after spending about 3 hours just so that we can get ourselves our red star rings in every single levels, there are exceptions as the forms of the boss battles, of course. So, we managed to get all of those in the end though. So, hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of the Merxy Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and of course Nintendo Switch. So last time we did showcase off episode Shadow, that there's only 3 levels on that mode. And today for this episode is the fact that we're going to be moving on into both the secret levels and the extra stages in the game. Now, getting these secret stages is pretty simple and self-explanatory. You have to go for the story progressioning so that you can able to actually unlock yourselves some of these secret stages and all that stuff. But however though, that doesn't end there, because even then though, I managed to recently got myself every single extra stages unlocked, and by doing so is that, as you can see, I gathered every single red star rings in every single levels, which that means is like, you know, I believe there are a grand total of 120 red star rings, unlike how it does it in Sonic Colors only has like 180 red star rings. But in this is just basically just 120 red star rings as a result. So, but as you can see, we got ourselves all of these secret stages, as you can see, in addition to these extra stages in here and there too. So even though we'll go for these levels one by one in this one giant video, by the way. And let's get started with the secret stages. So we're going to be taking off, first things first, is the forms of secret stage number 1. It takes place in Mystic Jungle in Fire Cannon 1. Now this stage is very simple, because even then though, first off, we're going to be taking control of the avatar character, and secondly is the fact that it's entirely in 2D, so even then though that, I'm considering the majority of the levels is going to be most accurately in 2D, because rather than just actually input it on 3D, so even then I'm not exactly sure why they don't have ourselves time to be able to actually get ourselves the experience of any extra secret levels within entirely in 3D, but that's just how it is for me. So anyway, in this level, that's all we have to do is basically we need to dodge those flamethrowers every time when you actually come into this next sections, as you can see there, and then that's it. Basically, for every single extra stages slash secret stages, they usually overly took about under a minute to complete them. Because I'm not kidding when I say that, because usually as you can see, I managed to complete this first secret stage for under 40 seconds, or even under 38 seconds, which even then, depends on how fast you can be. So even then though, you can potentially try to see how this is going. And the reward after completing those, you know, these secret stages is by we need to simply, you know, beat the level. I don't think there's actually an S rank requirement to able to actually do all that. But as you can see, I've got my percentage grown up by the forms of 99.99%, although it's now 101%, mind you. That's because we've managed to dominate it for the entirety of the planet Earth. Well, usually because now Team Dr. Eggman is now finished, so you know. Okay, so the next secret stage in the game is the forms of secret level number 2, and it takes place in the city in Vanish Panel 1. So, okay, quick error right there, folks, because I need to get a lot of practice on these controls again, because it's been a while since I actually played as modern Sonic for the majority of this playthrough, because of due to the fact that we did actually go through you know, the final boss of the game already, and also as a result, well, I did play some of them at time during the likes of the episode Shadow DLC, as far as you guys should already know. But anyway, so here's the Vanish block number 1. As you can tell already, that these particular platforms did make their debut ever since Sonic Colors, but even then though, they've now managed to get these things back. So even then though, the biggest difference is here is that, you know these little thicker platforms right there, you can't go through them. Although the only platforms you might have clipped through, and that's the forms with the thinner platforms, and then every time you stand on one of those vanishing panels, then you know it'll slowly disappear, and then don't worry, it will respawn after when you're able to step on one of them. So even then though that, you know, you get the idea. As you can see right there, I've got myself all of my 3 gold medals in my Honor of the Hedgehog, because as a result, that I've managed to max out the leveling up system. Sorry for a little bit of a, the spelling error. Do apologize for that, folks. But even then, it has been quite a few days since actually going to be coming back into this. And plus, not to mention, doing commentary for the sake of, like, you know, just for the sake of discussing on things. So, anyway, so next extra stage, or the next secret stage on my ad, and that's the forms of secret stage number 3, and we're going to be taking place in Green Hill, which is the forms of bomb block 1. Sorry for a little bit of a, you know. Okay, another jump cut right there, because I need to get used to this level, because as you can see right there, another gimmick ever since Sonic Colors, that bomb blocks do make a return. And just like on that game, if you step on one of those bomb blocks, it will activate to actually blow everything up, including for the likes of these little crate platforms. And as you can tell, that you do need to hurry up, because they now count down quite literally fast and quick this time, as opposed to accurately shorter or the longer amount of time compared to in Sonic Colors. Especially in this part right there, you need to be not only fast in this part, but you need to be accurate with your jump at the very end, because if you don't jump at the right time, you're gonna end up falling down to the bottomless pit below, because even then, if you manage to let those little box-shaped platforms manage to get destroyed, then chances are you're gonna get fall off and died. And I believe they don't have any checkpoints whatsoever, so you do have like multiple attempts or another. So, and as a result of that little tradition, although there are some other levels that we might actually get checkpoints from during later on, but it's just from the very beginning that, although as far as I've noticed, is that they might actually contain some checkpoints. I don't know. I know it's been a long while since actually just discussing upon Sonic Forces recently. I do apologize for that, folks. So anyways, next secret level we're going to be hopping into, and that's the forms of secret level number 4, and it's going to be takes place in Chemical Plant in the forms of Plasma Cannon 1. And we're going to be taking control of the avatar for the majority of this level right here. So the only character that doesn't have the secret or the extra levels for that matter is Classic Sonic, because well, since he's now coming back into his dimension now, but in forms of Sonic Mania's dimension. So that makes it pretty obvious to see how the fact that Classic Sonic is not going to be containing one of his secret levels, especially with the extra stages with him. So it's just Modern Sonic and the Avatar. Only those two only has the extra stages. So well, it's worth mentioning for this throughout. And as you can tell right there, we got into ourselves into these little plasma blocks over there, which that's actually yet another gimmick ever since Sonic Colors, which even then that usually normally takes place in back then it was actually in Starlight Carnival, but now they made the return, but in forms of well, they don't act out like crazy, unlike how it does it in last time. But even then, that's as far as we can go for this point, people. But even then, I can't really commentate on those levels, honestly, because as you can tell, that these levels are super short. Way more shorter than the actual main levels of the game. But even then, it's entirely optional if you want to able to actually go for 100% completion, but especially noticeable with the S rank comes in. But apart from those side of things, especially with the red star rings and all that stuff, although still there's no sign of Chaos Emeralds to be signed around here, but even then, until when I show you guys the Supersonic DLC in this game, until the next and the final video of this Let's Play. So even then, spoiler alert, we're able to actually come in towards that. So, anyway, so secret stage number 5, and now the forms of taking place in the Death Egg level, in the forms of the Laser Cannon 1. So, I believe this is actually yet another gimmick from Sonic Colors as well, ever since Sweet Mountain and Asteroid Coaster, but except unlike in those two levels from Sonic Colors, the laser cannons can now move automatically this time around, so no need to actually activate the button to able to let these laser cannons to be moved around in the 360 turn. So even though it does that automatically this time, and once again you do need to actually avoid those, because if you touch one, then chances are you lose all of your rings, no matter what. So, anywho. But again, not much else to talk for this point, besides, the, secret stages, and especially noticeable with, the extra stages in mind. So, even then, note that, I believe there were only 6, secret levels in this game, and also 7 extra stages. So, there are a grand total of 13 levels we're going to be tackling through for today. So, even then, going to be a lot of levels we're going to be coming across into, but even then, You can definitely tell why for this little time consumers, and especially noticeable with the, well, as far as for the sake of, like, you know, trying to able to do something like that. But anyway, recently today, folks, is the forms of, I would say the 20th of January, if I could recall it that. But even then, there's not much else we can just, you know, talk for this point, ladies and gentlemen. Besides, I've been recently playing through my new Nintendo 3DS XL recently, which I managed to still love it, even to this day. Way better than the original model for sure, because due to its faster processing, load times, and you name it. So anyways, before we get into this conversation right about now, we're going to be moving on to the last secret level in this game, and now it's in forms of Secret Stage 6, and it takes place in Metropolis in the forms of Reverse Block 1. And yet again, this is another gimmick from ever since Sonic Colors, because as you can see, every time you destroy one of those yellow blocks, as you can see, they're easily breakable, but they will respawn after, like, you know, for the sake of breaking them. And, yeah, and I don't know if you noticed that, I was actually going to be doing a post-commentary on this particular commentary for the sake of, like, being things, because, this level might actually take me quite a few tries to able to actually bypass this level, probably because, again, it's been a long while since I actually played Sonic Colors, ever since almost a year ago, so, but yeah, you get the idea. I really don't think that you get some rings after actually getting yourselves, you know, breaking those yellow blocks, I don't think, because normally that you can just simply just able to, you know, break them for the sake of progressioning. Wow, 340 rings. You can get as many rings as you can get, people, but for the sake of, like, you know, the secret stages, and even in addition to extra stages here and there too. So yeah, but again, there's no extra life system in this game because, you know, due to how the fact that, well, you can die as many times as you want to this time around, though, don't get me wrong, but if you want some ultimate challenge like getting the S ranks and etc., you have to be sure you have to do it a perfect run-through, so... Anyway, so that concludes all of the secret stages, so even then, again, those are the stages are immediately unlocked after when you actually go ahead and just do some more progressioning for the story, so, yeah, you get the idea. So now we're moving on to the extra stages, so starting with extra stage 1, and it's going to be taking place in Green Hill, but in forms of flying pod. So, you know these flying pods ever since Sonic Colors and Generations, and especially noticeable in Sonic Lost World, that normally those flying pods will send you some rings, or sometimes they're trying to hinder you with spike balls, but even then, they're going back into the exact same design as for not only Sonic Colors, but Sonic Generations as well, because in Sonic Lost Worlds, you know, flying pod, as you probably already knows, that it goes all green instead of the orangey looking, and plus it has a flower bib on the top of its head, which even then it makes a little bit of a difference between those games, obviously, so... This level might be a little bit tricky because of how the fact that, you know, I've mentioned about the bad jumping mechanics were in this game, that it makes it a little bit more treacherous, if you say that much, but even then, that's all I can really tell with these particular situations like that. But even then, though, you get the idea. You're gonna have to dodge those spike balls immediately, and you're gonna grab those rings as you can get, because even then, though, if you don't, and chances are you're gonna able to actually just, well, gonna have to start over again. But even then, though, yeah, and we got ourselves this really awesome Shadow the Hedgehog shirt. So, I believe from, you know, these secret levels only gives you the Wisp Bond abilities, but at least in the extra stages only gives you some of these avatar costume parts, so... I think that's the only reward system's differences though anyway, so... Okay, so that is it for that level done, and I believe we're moving on to extra stage number 2, and conveniently enough, we actually got ourselves 110%. It looks like we're going from, well, Crash Bandicoot Trilogy percentage system, which that might be sounds illogical than that. So, next level we have is the forms of extra stage number 2 is going to be taking place in Chemical Plant, but in forms of Bomb Block 2, which is a direct sequel to Bomb Block 1, except it's going to be taking place in a different environment. And plus, as you can tell, we're playing as a different character this time, because last time we played as the Bomb Block level, which is in forms of Modern Sonic, of course, but now it's the Avatar's turn to able to deal with these levels like this. So... But again, not much else to say about this here, besides the 6th extra stage, which, I'm not going to tell you right off the get-go right now, because even then I'm going to be still concentrating on this level first, before I'm able to actually just to discuss upon that level entirely. But, again, in order to actually unlock those extra stages, is that, unlike how it does it in the secret levels, that you normally unlock the secret levels while to simply go for the entirety of the story. But in this particular extra stage is that you need to collect a certain amount of red rings, very much like the Chaos Emerald system for both Sonic Colors and Sonic Lost World. But at least in Sonic Colors, you do need to able to actually accomplish something like the Sonic Simulator levels. But in Sonic Lost World is that you do need to find all 5 of those red star rings until you're able to actually get yourselves a Chaos Emerald within. And then it also did the exact same thing for Generations, but except in Generations that you get Chaos Emeralds when you actually just manage to, well, 6 of them while taking out these bosses down, like rival battles, and especially with the actual boss battles. But there's actually 1 Chaos Emerald that integrated into the plot after completing Planet Wisp. So, yeah, you get the idea what this little system goes, but at least then if you actually grab yourselves all 5 of those red star rings, it actually unlocks you some concept arts and everything. So, what I don't understand in Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 is that these red star rings are pretty much useless. Well, at least you get the achievement or trophy if you grab them all, but what kind of that rewards will actually just brings us to? But anyways though, enough about this little nonsensical stuff. So anyways, now we're moving on to back to Avatar gameplay aspect again, but this time we're going to be going back into Metropolis yet again by the forms of extra stage number 3, Laser Cannon 2, which is a direct sequel to, well, Laser Cannon 1. Except the notable difference is that obviously we're going to be taking control of the Avatar for the entire time, and plus different environments as we expected, so even then although one thing I have to admit though right away though is that the level layout is going to be slightly different compared to the first counterparts of the actual level. So yeah, we get the idea what how the difficulty we can be getting through. So anyway, oh god, that was kind of stupid. I was a little bit too slow right there. I do apologize for that. So yeah, you get the idea. It's gonna have to time your jumps and whatnot, and hopefully, God forbid, do not get hit by those little laser cannons right there. Because again, if you get hit, if you're in midair, you're gonna have to be in a stay locked position and all that stuff. Which even then, that can get pretty obnoxious at one point. So oh, that was a bit stupid. I didn't meant to do that. Oh shoot. Oh well, at least there's a checkpoint right there though, so even then I could potentially try to able to go for a perfect run through on this level too, but again, that's how it usually, casual gamers usually happens to be like that. But anyway, in my own time, along with trying to able to actually just for the sake of like practicing the game long enough, I managed to grab all the 120 red star rings as possible. Like, you know, you saw me, I grabbed them all during the likes of stage number 16, which is Capital City. But I haven't grabbed all of them in the majority of the levels, I'm afraid. But even then, though, still, that it only took me about a couple of hours just to actually get them all. I think the biggest and one of the hardest ones I can able to come across into now is the forms of Null Space, because basically, I was trying to able to perform after I grabbed myself the first red star ring in this particular level. And then I was hoping I can get myself a shortcut way to able to actually go for the second red star ring. And also the third one as well, while able to perform a shortcut, just able to actually land onto that rail grinding right down below. But the thing is, I constantly get screwed over most of the time, because even then though, my camera doesn't somehow help me. Which even then though, you know. Okay, so the next level we have right here, as you can see right there, is the forms of we're actually going back into Green Hill once again. But this time, Reverse Block 2, which is a direct sequel to Reverse Block 1. And usually forms of extra stage number 4. So, obviously the major differences here is that modern Sonic is now going to be taking on with this level this time. And especially noticeable how the fact that the double jump comes into play in this game, much like how it does in Sonic Colors. So, oh, duh! God dang it. I never died on that part though, but hey, at least we got a checkpoint nonetheless though, but still, I hate when this happens sometimes, even especially noticeable that if you want to get yourselves your decent footing, but sometimes you overshoot stuff really fast, which happens the exact same thing for Super Mario Bros. 3, but in forms of the NES version or the Super Nintendo version or Nintendo Entertainment System version, whatever you want to call it that. But even then though, it just feels a little bit too stiff or floaty at the same time. But even then, that's just how it is for my nitpicking stuff. So, I could potentially try to beat this level for under about a minute, but I was 44 milliseconds above from that. But, and also same applies to the ranking system too. Like, you saw me, I've managed to got the A rank on the very last level for, oh, quite fancy those little Dr. Eggman's shoes. So, I really do like those. So anyway though, I got the A rank on the very last secret level, and also I got 2 A ranks on during the likes of well, for the sake of the extra stages. So again, I could potentially try to go for a perfect run through, but honestly I don't usually really care about it too much. But anyway, so here we go folks, into extra stage number 5, and it's going to be taking place in Mystic Jungle by the forms of Vanish Panel 2. Which is a direct sequel to Vanish Panel number 1. Except, obviously, we're going to be taking control of the Avatar this time around, though. So, yeah, because we already experienced the Vanish Panels ever since, you know, Sonic's secret level, by the forms of Vanish Panel number 1. Which I believe is on the second stage, if I could recall it that. Because even then, that we've already played that through that before, on one hand. But anyway. So, I'm going to be starting talking about extra stage number 6. If you probably did not know already, is that extra stage number 6 is called Fire Cannon number 2. Fire Cannon 1, if you probably couldn't tell already, is that this is probably the easiest secret level in this game, because it's the, well, obviously it's the first one of these levels you've unlocked, and also it's not that hard or not that far behind. So even then though, that it makes it a little bit obvious with those little situations like that. But on the other hand though, that well, I'll get into more details about that level as soon as we get into the, after finishing this level first. But for now, we're going to have to deal with this, a whole bunch of stuff from here. Especially noticeable that we need to be very careful right there, because it contains a bottomless pit down below. And if you're seriously going to get screwed over, then chances are you're going to have to redo the section again. So, kind of wish I just had a double jump on that though, but oh well. I believe this might be the final time. Is it just me, or does it feel very similar, or the mirrored version of the Donkey Kong arcade game, because of how the fact that we need to go all the way up to the top and finish the level? Well, besides there's no Donkey Kong in this game after all, but even then though, these spike balls do actually come down, just like the barrels did from Donkey Kong arcade. But even then though, that's as far as I'm making that reference though, right here. So, anyways, I believe this might actually be the final time we're going to be able to play as the Avatar in this game, because, well, that's actually kind of cool. Sega SG-1000 logo. I believe that's actually represents the Sega's first ever video game console back in Japan. But even then though, that's actually kind of cool. There's blue sneakers as far as you can see there. I believe that's also another reference to something related to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and especially Super Smash Bros. 4, the Wii U and 3DS. Why there's some alternative colors or costumes for Sonic in those 2 Smash Bros. Games. But even then, I found that to be quite cool. But anyways, so next level we have right here, as I mentioned this earlier ago, it's Extra Stage 6, and we're going to be taking place in a city, and it forms the Fire Cannon number 2, a direct sequel to Fire Cannon number 1. So, oh boy, I'm going to get burned. Okay, so, if you probably did not know already, this is actually my 10th jump cut on this this particular footage, as you can tell already. While the Fire Cannon number 2 is obviously a direct sequel to Fire Cannon number 1, however, I have to say though, is that this level design is god-awful. Well, all I have to do in this particular level is that basically we need to able to dodge the flamethrowers and not that too hard. But keep that in mind in there, folks. You don't have that very much room left for these particular levels like this. The bottomless pit, especially the this bottomless pit section coming up after getting launched by the springs and all that stuff. This is the part I was talking about, that this part is so dangerous, because if you made up one simple mistake due to this flamethrower is about to be catch you off guard, you're gonna have to be pushed back. So even though, luckily though, thanks to that homing attack cursor, did manage to help me out for at least for once. But even then, whatever you do, don't even perform the wall jump, because the wall jump will not work. So, but as far as I've noticed is that oh yeah, I just realized about something. I believe Well, the wall jump usually exists for the Avatar, but I really don't know for modern Sonic though, I'm afraid, because I get a feeling that modern Sonic doesn't have himself his wall jump ever since Sonic Unleashed Colors and Generations, so that's the thing I haven't mentioned about this during at the very end of the actual main playthrough. Oh, we got some Knuckles issues this time. So, what's it be next? Like Amy Rose's shoes? Or mainly, I don't know. That's all I'm confessing about this right now. So anyway, we got ourselves one last extra stage left there, folks, and we got 118.45% of our Team Sonic's gauge. So here we go, folks, on to extra stage number 7, and it's going to be taking place in the Death Egg, body forms of Plasma Cannon number 2, the direct sequel to Plasma Cannon 1. Okay, this might be the final jump cut for this point, ladies and gentlemen, because, again, it needs to get a lot of practice on this level, because this is by far one of the harder levels. I would say the hardest levels of the bunch will probably have to be Fire Cannon 2, because Jesus Christ, so many flamethrowers all over the place. And, well, don't mind about this level though, but the only things you do need to worry about is at the very end, because, I did this for one attempt on that part, but even then I don't get nearly as frustrating compared to how it does it in Shadow the Hedgehog's, well, Shadow's run-through in Sonic 06 very hard missions, but even then, it still might be inconsistent when it comes to difficultiness, but even then, it doesn't look too as drastic though, but even then. I believe there's going to be the ending part coming out that I was trying to talk about, but even then though, that compared to how it does in Fire Cannon 2, that I died so many times due to how the fact there's going to be too much flamethrowers on screen all at once, with all this narrow corridor. This is the part I was talking about. If you get hit by these little projectiles, you can tell, you won't able to go anywhere unless if you're able to dodge that, which even then, that can get a little bit more difficult. But there you go, folks. That concludes all of the extra stages of this game. So again, there are only 7 extra stages and 6 secret stages, so that's what I can really talk about for that point or another, ladies and gentlemen. But even then, yeah. So far so good on my run-throughs of those stages, but sometimes I have to jump cut in most of the death situations because I've noticed something that, unlike in Sonic 06 playthrough, that, you know, definitely has to do a lot of hard work on those particular parts, notice. But we got ourselves the Violet Void and the white incarnation of the Dr. Eggman shirt, aka Clement J64's favorite Sonic characters of all time, I meant to say. So, let's see how much percentage we've got as far as the maximum effort. So let's see. No, 119.99%. Jeez, that's quite a lot. And even then, though, we're off by 0.01% off by Team Dr. Eggman, which I found is like, huh, it might be accurately, it might actually be 120% or something like that. But even then, that's just how it is for me. So with that being said, folks, we're gonna have to end things off here. So tune me next time on Let's Play Sonic Forces for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. Here's the fact that we're going to be doing the final video of this Let's Play, while showcase off these extra stuff of how this game offers to be, excluding for the likes of playable characters and you name it. So yeah, see you guys next time. Later, fellas.